Today I will be reviewing my first ever smartwatch called the D5, which was very kindly sent to me by Gearbest. So let's get to it. Now the design looks really good. The actual watch piece is slick and it looks very premium when you take into account the price of this thing, which we will touch on later. A little problem though is that this is one very stubborn strap. Every other smartwatch allows you to lay them flat on a table, but you can't do that with this. You can try, but it will just revert back to its original position, and that's very annoying, particularly when you're trying to charge it with the dock that it came with. Now when I first took this out of the box and powered it on, I was immediately very impressed with the look of the screen. It's an IPS display running at a resolution of 360 by 360, and the colors, although not fantastic, are still great. The clarity is all there, and navigating around the operating system or looking at the various different clock faces is a joy. And after having tested this for about 2 weeks, I have not found a single complaint with regards to the screen quality. Something else which is quite impressive for a watch at this price point is that it detects your wrist motion. So when you lift your wrist, the watch knows that you want to look at the time, so it turns the screen on for about 5 seconds and then it turns it off again. Now this feature is awesome, but it only works when you're indoors or in a fairly lit environment, because if you try to do this when you're outside, it doesn't work. So you're forced to push the crown to see what time it is, and that is a shame because for a watch like this, that is one of the most convenient features you would want. But yeah, other than that, the actual screen is great. Now this watch also has the Google Play Store available, so you can install various apps and different keyboards, but most importantly, other watch faces. And although it does install regular apps fine, it's the watch faces it completely struggles with. Anytime I try to install a new watch face, it will sometimes show in the applications list, but when I go to my watch face selection, it's nowhere to be found. So I contacted Gearbest, and they told me that you need to go to a website called watchfaceup.com to install custom watch faces, but unfortunately the ones from the Play Store aren't there. And if you look into installing custom watch faces, you will find out that it's actually quite risky, because if you do something wrong, you can brick the watch. So I would only recommend that you do that if you really know what you're doing. The battery life on the D5 is actually quite good when compared to other watches out there. If you use it to tell the time and receive notifications, then it will last you 2 to 3 days. If you're using it heavily with the fitness app, heart rate scanner and pedometer, then in my experiences it will last you just 1 day. So good battery life for smartwatch standards, but still useless. I still firmly believe that a smartwatch should not be yet another device for you to charge overnight. Companies really need to start revolutionizing battery technology because their development is at a standstill. Now in order to connect this watch to your smartphone, you need to install an app called Watch Helper. Once you've done that, you enable Bluetooth on both your phone and the device, connect your phone to the watch, done. Except when it loses the connection or just flat out refuses to connect at all. Seriously, this is the thing that has taken the most of my time to test, because all the other features of the watch I am more than able to come to a definitive opinion, but the pairing connection with this watch is all over the place. There are times where it's really good and it works as it should, but then there are other times where it just refuses to connect despite everything being in place. I found that in order to rectify this, you either keep trying until it connects, or better yet, restart the watch and then connect it again. The watch's pairing capabilities are quite feeble really. This is something that can be fixed in a software update, but due to this being one of the more affordable watches, I don't see that happening anytime soon. And my final complaint is that the performance on this isn't great. Now I'm not talking the more advanced stuff like web browsing or anything like that, no, I'm talking about the animations when you're navigating around the operating system. You just might be able to notice it on video, but the animations stagger a lot, and it makes the experience feel less responsive. Also, the notifications on this can be really bad. Emails are okay, but when I receive notifications for WhatsApp, it doesn't allow me to read them on the watch. It just notifies me, and that's kind of lame. So overall, this watch is good, but at the same time, it feels like for every good thing about it, there is also a bad thing, and that really drags it down as an overall product, especially at its £67.61 asking price. Now there is an updated version of this called the D5 Plus, which has Android 5.1 Lollipop installed on it as opposed to Android 4.4 KitKat, but Gearbest don't sell that version at the moment, so this is currently the only one they supply. It's a shame really, because this has the makings of a fantastic low-end smartwatch, and all it takes is a simple software update to iron out its kinks, and then I would highly recommend it. But as is, I would suggest that you go for the next version up, and that will hopefully be the watch that this should have been. So with all those things considered, the D5 Android smartwatch gets a 5 out of 10. If these problems are rectified with a software update, then I would give it an 8 or possibly even a 9. So here's hoping this device will get some support from the manufacturer, as they really would have a winner on their hands. So that's it for my first smartwatch review. If you guys liked it, feel free to give this video a thumbs up, and if you want to pick up the D5 smartwatch, then I will leave a link in the video description. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch all of you next time. Take care.